Unlocked. Fly's Lay.
Yeah,
Oh,
I said
Fly's
sorry.
Lay.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, I said sorry to Tom Lock because Flyers like beat him.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. But yeah, so Golden Wisp only took 1 out of the 5 matches played. Obviously, they've been rolling. Does that concern you at all going into the playoffs? We're a couple of weeks away, or is it just kind of a speed bump in their road to the championship?
You would think it's just Hearthstone being Hearthstone, right?
Yes.
Swagway has, um, they have a huge advantage in the 4 seed there, and Sunshine's actually been really good in the last couple seasons.
Hmm.
And Asuna still continues to be questioning whether or not she's even worth the full 196 PR. But I definitely think that's an anchor they have to overcome. Like, it almost feels like they're playing 4-on-5 most weeks.
Yeah, she's definitely been inconsistent. She started off pretty strong, not so well previous week. On the flip side, this is now Doc McButt's second straight win. He had a sweep a couple of weeks ago. This week, pulling out a big 3-1 for his team, it was pretty monumental and helping them build their lead that they have, I believe, in Purple Division. So, Swagoy kind of coming on hot and beating another team at the end of the season that you would not expect them to beat. Is this kind of turning into a trend for them? Starting slow and then turning it on?
You would think so. They did this again last season. This season they have the benefit of being in a trash division, and it's going to help them because they're going to be able to turn it on and hopefully get in.
What do you think, Parker?
Yeah, I agree. They did the same thing last season. If you remember right, they beat like the 3 best teams in the league in the last 3 weeks, and then they missed the playoffs by like 1 point. So I think as big of a role as they had last season going towards the playoffs, if they could get in this season, they'd be really scary. I wouldn't want to play them.
Yeah, I tend to agree. A lot of talent over there, especially like Brasky. Cassidy mentioned him being a big advantage over Sunshine, and while Sunshine's having a great season, Brasky has kind of turned into one of the premier 4 seeds in this league. So,
True.
they have to keep kind of playing off of that big advantage that they have over most teams.
Yeah, agree.
Um, X gonna give it to you, huh? So
Oh, baby.
Zenergy
X gon' give it to
14
you.
to 13 over Valkyrie. Um, in position, took down Slimsh 3-2. Boom Boom Hall took down D Lineman 3-1. Samu taking down JR Juggernaut 3-2. Flip side is that Dexter HS got swept by Crackshot to Smoke Salmon's Delight.
Yeah.
And Zab ended up losing in 5 to TH Lemur.
Is Crackshot the best 5 seed in THL?
He's certainly playing like it, right? When
I mean,
he
he
doesn't
is just
DQ.
annihilating everybody when he actually plays.
Yeah, he definitely seems to be the case. But he also has a history of brain farting and like not spending classes or forgetting bands. It's like you never know what you're gonna get with him. But when he plays his match, he performs very well.
All right, so beginning of the season, we looked at Zenergy's lineup,
Hmm.
and we were very, 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 I would say, underwhelmed. But they're just winning. How?
I don't know.
Well, we all know that Dexter HS is a great 5 seed, right?
Uh-huh.
Like at this point, he's proven himself to be very good. And I think that they're just their 3-4, like they're pretty like whoever it is, like of their all of their players, because they're all like within 70 PR points. So you can kind of see them, flip flopping around and stuff like that. Whoever they are, like, you're gonna get pretty good production out of the 4 seed and 3 seed. And in position has been just holding his own well enough in the 1 seed. Not lighting the world on fire, but certainly not costing them any games. And I think that's just, a recipe for getting consistent points week in and week out.
Fair enough. Definitely, I would say concerning to see Zab fall to Lemur. I mean, this was a guy that I think came into THL as a 1 seed, and his PR just seems like it's in free fall the last season and a half.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
One of
really
THL's self-proclaimed most creative deck builders, for the record. Maybe he's not building so well.
it's really impressive to me that they got the win this week in the 1-2-3.
Yeah.
Very surprising.
against Valkyrie.
Right.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean,
if they can get if they can get the win when the bottom of their team's not even doing well, if the bottom of their team starts doing well, like they should most normal weeks, they're pretty scary.
yeah, I tend to agree. Now, this kind of is a prelude to our discussion that we're going to have a little bit later in the show. But which teams do you think between them have a better shot to get to the playoffs? Right now, Zenergy is second in their division with 113 points, while Valkyrie is third in their division with 107 points.
Yeah, I definitely would have to say X. X is gonna give it to you, dude.
X gonna give it to you. Now, in terms of getting in and then doing something, I feel like Valkyrie is the better team, but that's just not how it works. You guys
Yeah.
watch Always Sunny at all?
No.
Sometimes.
There's an episode where they assign groups of the gang different roles within the group, and one person's the muscle, and one person's the brains, and one person's the wild card. And I think that's Synergy. They're the wild card. And at the end of that episode, he ends up like lighting the van on fire and jumping out and screaming "wild card." And I just imagine like Dexter HS doing that. It's making me really happy.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Synergy's definitely got a better shot of getting in, but if Valkyrie could get in, they could get hot and make a deep run. They could be scary.
Yeah, so I mean, Valkyrie, speaking of him, they were touted as one of the probably like top 5 teams on everyone's power rankings, I believe. Not really turning out to be that successful of a season. Obviously, the Golden Wisp is running away with that division, but very surprising to see them behind Synergy too. What do you think their issues are? Why do you think they've not been able to put it together week to week?
D lineman gives you that kind of hit or miss Hearthstone attitude, and I think this season for him it's been a big miss, which I can relate to. So I think what we thought we were getting in the MVP runner-up a season ago from D lineman, we didn't get in terms of the preparation level. I think he'd be the first one to tell you that too. So that's probably impacting them. And I don't know, like we've seen teams mutiny against Lemur as a captain. You have to think they're not the most organized team when it comes to like submitting classes and practicing and stuff. So maybe that's playing a role too.
Yeah, I've heard from inside the Valkyrie camp that
You have a source.
Yeah, that dedication and commitment is at an all-time low over there, just across the team.
Sources say Lemur has lost yet another locker room.
Yep.
That's actually impressive how you managed to lose everyone. So moving on from that matchup, we have Initium Novum versus Get Off My Lawn. Initium Novum taking this one 13-12. So we have Wolfmac sweeping Jedi Ninja. Wolfmac is now 5 points away from that exclusive 500 PR club. Appa ended up getting a 3-0 DQ over Jing Buddha, who did not submit his classes. Okay, so this is funny. Initium Novum won one of the 4 matches that they played, but they walked away to win. The other matches that happened: Arcane, THL losing to ADK 2-3, and then Starden losing to Jacksox 2-3.
Yep.
So 1 of 4 get to the W sometimes.
1 of 4. 1 of 4 and leaning in.
Yeah, and Novum's right there. Like if they have 2 good weeks, they're gonna make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
If the
That's
playoffs started
incredible.
today, they're in.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? That's actually really interesting.
Yep.
So, do you think that Novum has a chance to make a deep run if they make it to the playoffs?
They're like the definition of like hit or miss for me. For me, they're just
Yeah.
like they're just always so hot and cold. It's always really tough. Ever since that team's like inception, they've been so hard to get a read on for me as to like what they are and like how strong they are. Because like sometimes they go out and they just like kick the shit out of someone and they just look so strong. And then the next week they play one of the weaker teams in the league and they just get dominated. So I don't know. It's like if they got on a run, they could definitely do it. But being hit or miss in the playoffs is really bad because one loss and you're done.
They
Yeah.
kind of remind me of that Entropy team a few seasons ago that had like a really would either like they'd crush people and then they would just get crushed.
Yep.
Yeah, like they could get to the playoffs and then they could get NW8 and put a point and it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Or they could get to the playoffs and just like roll through like 2 really good teams and it wouldn't surprise me.
Roll through like a continuum.
Yeah, they could pull a continuum. That feels great to talk about. I'm gonna take a drink.
So the flip side of that, get off my lawn, sitting with 87 points, a very distant fourth in the red division.
Yeah.
Obviously not the best of standings, but how do you think that they have done, like as far as their expectations? Like for you, like have they lived up to expectations?
Oh,
Better, worse?
for me, they overshot my expectations. I was
Yeah,
expecting an ombre
yeah.
level season, and they came through with a really solid season.
Yeah, they were a playoff team like 3 weeks in.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That didn't last. I think they've had some DQs that didn't help them.
You
Yeah,
know what?
this is one. This is one for sure.
You know what I think it was. You know, if you ever went like golfing with just some old guy that's just incredible at golf, and by the time you get to like hole 14, he's just huffing and puffing.
He's just out of gas.
He's just out of gas. I think that roster's a little aged, and the longer the season
You go
went
to the
in,
rec
they
center
just
and you play basketball.
yeah.
Old man hits like 3 sky hooks in a row, and
Yep.
then he can't get up and down the court
Yep.
anymore.
They just hit the wall.
Oh, Skyhook. That's got to be the name next season, right? Team Skyhook.
Team
Oh,
Sky.
that'd be a good one.
That's pretty solid.
short sky hook.
I think that's what it is.
But
They
yeah,
just-
I
they
tend to
hit the
agree
wall.
with you. I tend to agree
Like
with you.
if you had
Go ahead.
told me that Get Off My Lawn would have more points than Supreme and the Pod people going into the second to last week, I would have bet all the money I own that wasn't going to happen.
I would have
same.
asked if
And
they
they
got
did it.
caught cheating.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I tend to feel the same way. I definitely had very low expectations for them, as much as I like them all personally and how they've all been around the league. I thought that they were really missing, some key members of a successful team. But I think that if you're get off my lawn, even with the last 2 weeks, up in the air, you have to be very happy that you've been able to battle and compete almost every single week, while just trying to have fun. So.
Jedi even went to the 1 seed and was just mowing them over there for a
Oh
while.
yeah, yeah, he really was, dude.
Like it's incredible.
Like, yeah, it's Skyhook himself.
Skyhook himself.
He crushed a couple of guys. Yeah, I think. I think everyone's impressed with Get Off My Lawn. Honestly, solid season for them. So,
New segment,
guys-
boys.
you guys ready
This is
for
excited.
the
very
playoff preview?
Yeah, so we're not doing power rankings this week.
Got something new, boys.
The teams that care about the power rankings this point in the season, like you're gonna like this segment more, and everybody else is just gonna like not have to feel bad seeing their team sit at 18, knowing that their entire season sucked ass. So we're gonna look at it kind of like the way people look into March Madness before
Yeah.
the tournament. We have 4 categories here. We're talking about teams making the playoffs. We have teams that we're going to rate as firmly in, meaning we expect these teams to get into the playoffs no matter what. We have on the bubble, meaning teams we think will sneak in, probably via the wild card or their division race is really close, so we couldn't like pick a clear winner. Then we have teams that were labeled on the outside looking in. So these are the teams that we think are probably going to come up a little short and it's going to suck. And then we've got the long shots, which, I mean, if they just rattle off a miracle these last 2 weeks, they can sneak into the playoffs. So remember, if you don't know, the winner of each division makes the playoffs automatically. And then in each conference, which is green, purple, and red, blue, we will take the 2 highest non-division winners in terms of points. So you can have 3 teams from the red division get in and only the blue division winner gets in, or vice versa. So knowing that, I guess I'll start us off. My firmly in group, I have Team Golden Wisp, the Temporal Legends, Dirty Mike and the Boys,
Oh baby.
and Swagboy.
Yeah.
On the bubble, I've got Team Rank 5, Aeon, Zenergy, and Valkyrie. And on the outside looking in, we have Initium Novum, ATL, and Prep Coin Concede. Sorry, guys. And my long shot, you can never count these guys out. You got the noobs down here.
Yeah. So my firmly in, I think, is the exact same as yours. Yes, it is. I did not do an outside looking in just because I felt like the bubble was descriptive of enough, and it was really hard trying to parse these teams, and why fucking bother? But for my bubble, I have Aeon, Initial Nova, Prep Coin Concede, Team Rank 5, Zenergy, Valkyrie, and ATL. Now, the first four that we mentioned, any of those guys honestly could make playoffs in the wild card position. I think that if I were doing an outside looking in, it'd be Prep Coin Conceit. I think that they're in some trouble.
Yeah.
But the rest of those guys, Aeon and Ishmanova and Team X5, they're all still alive for winning the division and all still alive for a wild card spot. Because I believe that they are only a few points off of Dirty Mike collectively. And then Zenergy, Valkyrie, ATL, they're all very close, trailing